All right, let's talk Renault. But, this isn't really a story about a car company. It's more like a masterclass in corporate survival, stretched out over 125 years. It's not just about cool cars and engines. It's about how a company can reinvent itself over and over again. So yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, seriously, think about this for a second. How does any company, survive not one, but two world wars, getting taken over by the government, and even its CEO having to flee the country? It sounds like a movie script, right? But it's real. So how on earth did they do it? Let's trace that unbelievable journey.
Well, like a lot of these legendary stories, this one kicks off in a tiny little garage with a huge idea. And right from the very beginning, they established this innovative DNA that really would define everything that came after.
Picture this. It's Christmas Eve, 1898. A young engineer, just 21 years old, named Louis Renault, builds this little car. He then drives it straight up a super steep hill in Paris, a hill that even horses had trouble with. And what happens? He sells his first car right there, on the spot. In fact, he gets 12 orders that very same night. His secret sauce? A patented direct drive transmission that was, no joke, an absolute game changer from day one.
And you can see just how fast things took off. I mean, think about the timeline. In less than 20 years, Renault goes from this one little car sold on a dare to mass-producing those iconic Paris taxis, and then to building the world's first truly modern tank, the FT-17. That tank literally helped change the outcome of World War I. That's some serious evolution.
But, that incredible early success, it kind of gives way to a century that was just defined by one near-death experience after another and these massive strategic pivots they had to make just to stay alive.
Just take a look at this list. It's insane. After World War II, the company gets seized by the government because its founder was accused of collaboration. Then, decades later, it's just hemorrhaging cash, literally on the brink of going bankrupt. And then, get this, the CEO they bring in to save the company, Georges Besse, is assassinated. I mean, any single one of these events would have been a company killer.
Okay, so here's where things get really smart. They learned from their mistakes. The big one? Trying to merge with Volvo back in '93, it completely fell apart because it felt like a takeover and Volvo got spooked. So, 6 years later, when they approach a Nissan that was almost bankrupt, they did something brilliant. It wasn't an acquisition, it was an alliance. They preserved the autonomy, the culture of both companies. And that, right there, was the secret to its incredible success.
And boy, did it work. By 2017, this alliance, the one born from the ashes of that failed Volvo deal, was the biggest automotive group on the planet. They were number one, on top of the world, which, of course, is the absolute perfect setup for a truly spectacular crash.
And this is what I'd call the death phase in Renault's Phoenix cycle. The very same guy who built this global empire, Carlos Ghosn, ends up becoming the one who almost brings it all down.
And the entire thing, this whole global empire, it all comes crashing down in one single moment at one single place.
The headlines just sent shockwaves through the entire auto industry. Can you imagine the CEO of the Renault-Nissan alliance, Carlos Ghosn, arrested in Japan for financial misconduct? The man running 3 global car companies arrested right on the tarmac. And just like that, the alliance he built was thrown into absolute chaos. The market's reaction, it was immediate, and it was brutal. Renault's stock just tanked, dropping by over 8% in a single day. Billions of dollars in value just gone, wiped out in an instant.
And this number, well, this is rock bottom. You've got the pandemic, you've got the fallout from the Ghosn scandal, and it all leads to this, a staggering €8 billion net loss in 2020. That was the worst financial result in the company's entire 125-year history. The absolute worst.
But just like a phoenix, from those very ashes, the company stages its most dramatic comeback yet. And it's all led by a new CEO, Luca and a pretty radical new plan. He gave it a pretty clever name, the Renaulution. And it was this super clear, super focused strategy. The whole point was to pull Renault back from the absolute brink by just fundamentally changing how the company thought about success.
And he broke it down into 3 really simple core ideas. First, stop chasing sales numbers. Focus on value over volume. Make more profit on each car. Second, give each brand in the portfolio, Renault, Dacia, and Alpine, a crystal clear identity. And third, the big one, go all in on the next generation of electric cars. And the results? Well, this chart really says it all, doesn't it? The turnaround was nothing short of incredible. In just a couple of years, the company's operating margin nearly tripled. It proved that the strategy wasn't just working. It was working better than anyone could have possibly imagined.
And if you need a symbol for the new Renault, this is it, the all-electric Renault 5 E-Tech. It wasn't just a sales hit, it actually won Europe's most prestigious Car of the Year award. It's the perfect embodiment of the new strategy: innovative, super desirable, and, most importantly, profitable cars.
But you know how it is in the car industry. The next big crisis is always right around the corner. And for this reborn Renault, that new challenge is a massive tidal wave of electric competition coming straight out of China.
This table really puts it all into perspective. Look, Renault is a strong number 3 in Europe, which is great, but look at that last line. The Chinese brands are growing incredibly fast, and they're targeting the exact same areas, affordable cars and EVs, where Renault has just rebuilt all its strength. So what's the plan? They're calling it Future Ready, and it's basically doubling down on everything that worked in the turnaround. The key is to win the race for affordable EVs, with cars like the new Twingo coming in under 20,000 euros. At the same time, they're expanding in other markets, and this is crucial, never losing that hard-won focus on value over volume.
And that brings us to the final, critical question, doesn't it? This company has survived wars, it's survived being nationalized, it's survived these catastrophic crises. But is that legendary resilience, that incredible ability to reinvent itself time and time again, is it going to be enough for the fight that's coming? The answer to that is what will define the next chapter of this absolutely incredible story.